Hello and welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make cute robots like these in Blender. So the first thing we need to do is just delete the default cube, of course, and add in a new one, and then we just go to Google and search for some reference. So I'm just going to search for robot and go on things like Pinterest or just Google Images or Instagram, something like that, and just search for these robots we want. When you find something you like, you can just copy the image and go over to a service like PureRef or something similar. I'll leave a download link for PureRef in the description, and you can just paste it in here and put it on your reference board. So now that we have our reference images, we can start analyzing them and trying to find some things that we want to use in our final robot. So the first thing I want to look at is this reference. I really like the art style of this one, so I think I'm going to try to replicate something like this, maybe make it a little bit more realistic, but this looks really cute, and I like the shape that it's big at the top and smaller at the bottom. I think I'll probably use these colors and then kind of make it a style like this, so it's sort of realistic but not really, and then add in some stickers from this robot. So the aspects I'm using from this one are the shapes and the color, and this one the style, but I'm just going to grab all the stickers, the idea of the stickers, and this one is from the same creator as this one, and I really like these arms, so I'm going to try to use arms like these, floppy arms, and adding some imperfections. I really like the nature in this one and the idea that it's floating. So now we've analyzed our reference and we've established that these will probably be our most important ones, these four. So I think we can just get started. So in Blender I'm just going to start out by some basic shapes. So we're going to add in a cube, then just moving this up so we get a bigger one, and then scaling the top just like I saw in my reference, maybe making it a little bit thinner, maybe something like this. And this will be the base body. Then we need a platform for the legs to be on. So just going back to my reference, as you can see, this guy has a little platform, and we are going to be using that for some legs. So just duplicate this face and then click P to separate the selection. Use this one to move it down a little bit, and then extrude this until you get something like this. And for the legs, I'm just going to add in a new cube right here, and then just move it out and scale it in, and then just really roughly making the legs. So just making hinges like this. For the legs, just really simple. Just angling it up and then just extruding it again. So we kind of followed this shape. So now we need to go back down again. So now we have something like this with a pretty basic mechanical shape. So we can just rotate this along there and along there. Just make sure that it works logically. So these legs cannot bend like in this direction. So we need a way to do that. We kind of need to rotate this one. So what we can do to fix that is just when we animate this, we can rotate this part, since this is going to be connected with some rubber, like right here. It's pretty much just a coil. so we can move the body that way. But I think this is pretty much it, since we are just going to duplicate this leg when we are finished with it. So what we can do now is just add in some nice little details, just like we saw on this reference. Just add these details, make some shapes, and just add some bevels as well. So the first detail I want to do is, of course, add in a face. So we are going to make a kind of like a panel in which the face can exist. Just add in a circle. And then just go over to this snapping panel and set this to face project, and then align rotation to the target. And now when we press G, our circle will be snapped to the slope, as you can see right here. So to connect this face panel right here to our mesh, we can just join these together. If you want perfect topology, what you can do is just add in some loop cuts all along the object, and then you can just add these faces together until you get something like this. And this is actually perfect, since we can use these little cubes to add in some extra details. So I want to add in a little bevel right here. So just extrude this along the normals with the offset even, and you have a thing like this. As you can see right here, on my reference we have that right there. On the side I can add in a vent, so you can just extrude this, and then inset it, extrude it again, and then we can use this as a vent. So duplicate these faces and separate them and extrude them a little bit to give them some depth. You can expand this by just double pressing G, so you can slide the vertices, and then by pressing C you can expand that, so you can move them farther than the edges. So I want something like this, and then I want to invert this, so we get the back faces, and just move this up a little bit along the normal, so it matches the slope, and just do this, but something like this, and with an array modifier set to the Z, you can just make a vent like this really easily. So something else you can add is just some little random panels. So we can extrude this to make a panel, and then just inset this, add in something like that, and you can add in some screws. We're just adding in another mesh, a cylinder with like 5 vertices, and then rotating this and snapping it to the side again, just like we did with our circle. And now we've added some screws right there, and I should probably just turn on cavity so we can see it better. And we can just add in some details wherever we want. Maybe some bevels. So now for the face, I'm just going to move this out to get a nice little curve to add some depth. And as you can see, I've added some details around the sides of the robot. Just some simple things. On the back there's not really much detail. I can do that later. But for now we have the idea in place, and we can just merge everything together. And here we have our base robot. For the underside of the robot we can just add some bevels. And for these legs we can just do the same thing again. Just add in some bevels, add in some details, and it will look amazing. So this is my leg. It's pretty simple. I just added a bevel to make it pointy, and then everything should work perfectly fine. So we can duplicate these. First parent them together, and then just duplicate this hierarchy. And then mirror it on the y-axis with the 30 cursor as our origin point, like this, and then just duplicate it once again to get multiple of them. So seeing that not work is really annoying, so we need to, I think we need to just bevel this a little bit more. So this will be my robot. Just join these together to merge the vertices. And then this will be our main platform where our robot will walk with, which can rotate like this, so the robot can move. And it can look around like this. We can also add in some antennas to keep it more interesting. So just extrude this, inset it, and just extrude. And I think this is pretty much it. We can just inset this and then just extrude. And this will be my robot. In the next video we are going to animate this one and make him walk and create a beautiful render, add in some materials. So I hope to see you then. Goodbye.